Good morning, everyone. I always hate speaking when there is such a buzz in the foyer and such a wonderful group of people here. I see people from past lives in different organizations, different partners that have come together, and that in itself, I think, is a wonderful occasion to see so many different organizations all fighting for the mental health and addictions cause and all being present here. So thank you so much for being here today.
We're thrilled to be working with the Central Eastland, including Ontario Shores, as the lead agency to make Big White Wall available province-wide with the support of the provincial government and the Trillium Foundation.
Welcome to Ontario Shores. We're here in our lobby celebrating kind of a neat day for our hospital. The announcement of a couple of resources, including one called Big White Wall, which we launched in partnership with the Ontario Telemedicine Network just a few minutes ago. And with me is John Dixon, a former, actually a user of Big White Wall and a patient. And welcome, John.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, as somebody who's familiar with the service, can you tell us a bit about how you encountered Big White Wall and what it actually meant to your recovery?
Well, I was actually fortunate to be involved in the pilot of Big White Wall. I was in a very depressed state. My psychiatrist recommended that I enroll, which I did. I was one of the fortunate few who was allowed to, and loved it.
What were some of the things, the tools, the different resources that it offered that you found particularly helpful?
The first one actually was bricks. Bricks are a creative outlet within Big White Wall, and being able to use some creativity was a surprise. I didn't expect that. Just before I had done it, I had taken up painting, so this fit very much in with what I was already doing. The second thing was the ability to research. If you research on Google, the information is overwhelming. Whereas here, the information was in bite-sized pieces and self-contained. I didn't have to go out to Google. I could stay within the site itself, get the information I needed. The third thing that I liked was the peer support. The ability to reach out to a peer and have that peer respond showed me in a very real way that I wasn't alone. And it helped me start to break down the walls of isolation that I had.
One of the features of Big White Wall is also wall guides, which are clinically trained professionals who are available 24/7 to answer any questions that users may have. Is that something that you utilized in your experience with Big White Wall?
Yes, because of the nature of my depression at the time that I first started with Big White Wall, I had a very high score on the PHQ-9 test, and it said I should be going to see a psychiatrist, which I was, fortunately. But my scores resulted in an interaction between myself and the wall guide within seconds of me actually posting the test result. So it was very, very quick, and they guided me to research that I may want to undertake that I wasn't thinking of myself.
Now, you were part of the initial pilot that brought it to Ontario, and now it's being opened up across the province. What are your feelings about Big White Wall now being available province-wide?
We need it in Ontario. We need it in remote areas of Ontario. The advantage here is if you have an internet connection, you can get onto Big White Wall. Whereas you may be waiting months to see a psychiatrist, you may never get to see a therapist. But the time on Big White Wall is immediate, it's responsive, and it's absolutely beneficial.
You mentioned before we got talking formally that a big part of your recovery was finding hope, and you really felt like Big White Wall kind of helped you discover that hope.
Correct. When I was suicidal, I have attempted suicide. Big White Wall offered me some guidance. It offered me some tools that helped me rediscover hope. Hope was for so long lost to me, but to have it recaptured was a gift.
Well, thank you very much. This is a gift, talking to you today about your experience and being part of this bigger announcement. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Today's rollout of Big White Wall and Bounce Back here in the Central East Lynn is a tangible representation of what that regional mental health and addiction system is starting to look like.